to a place where no one really knows me. Sometimes I need to get it out so that I can really be free. Cause it ain't easy when you live a life where the fans adore you. It doesn't mean that you never need to get away. There's a little place that I find whenever I need to unwind. Dealing with the pressure, living life the way I do. Where they always make it easy, I can just relax and be there. Baby, are you ready? It's a paradise for two. Feeling all around you, and girl, I know the struggle dealing with what they do. Cause it ain't easy when you live the life where they depend on you. I know the feeling, let me take care of you. There's a little place that I find whenever I need to unwind. Dealing with the pressure, and I know you feel it too. Where they always make it easy, I can just relax and be there. Baby, are you ready? It's time for me.
I can take you anywhere in the whole wide world. On the Eiffel Towers where love occurs. Is it Belize, Greece, or maybe the islands? Take a deep, long breath and just close your eyelids. Relax and take a seat and just let your mind slip to a place you want to go. All love, no violence. France, Egypt, maybe Japan. No matter where we go, I want to hold your hand. We can hit the beach and put our toes in the sand. Maybe go to San Fran and you're an indie band. Where you going, little mama? I want to take you on a trip. I can be your only genie. You can use one wish. Then we try all the places that you wanted to exist and go around the world on a plane or a ship. And trust me, I know it's like a dream come true, but it's nothing compared to what I would do for you. Just one night, just to show you the world and give you my all, cause I found my dream girl. Adventure is a word that was made for two, and the way I see it, it's just me and you. Cause when we're together, there's nothing we can't do. JK and Jeopardy, now what you gonna do? Like
Thank you guys so much for joining me today. We got a big topic to talk about today. This is real. This is for real for all writers. This is probably one of the bigger topics that I'm going to do all year. I wanted to do this one first, the beginning of 2023, give you guys the truth. First and foremost, I want you guys to know, or I want to know if you guys can hear me all right. So let me know in the chat box if you can hear me okay. I'm testing out a new setup here. So I want to make sure that you guys can hear me okay, because there's no point in giving you a message when there's no point in giving you a message if you can't hear me. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm already getting Instagram, TikTok telling me they can't hear me. Oh, hang on. That makes sense. Okay, that should be better. Can you hear me, TikTok? It should be better. Let me know if you can't. You guys hear me all right? I want to make sure you guys can hear. I want to make sure the message is getting through. And yeah, this is a really big topic. So I pulled some numbers through 2022. We pulled some numbers through 2022, and the results were, how do I say this? The results are things that all authors, all writers, anybody who's looking to become a writer, anybody who's looking to become a writer or do anything like that, you guys need to know this. Um, this is not, Juan, this is not a sports broadcast. Today is not the sports broadcast day. This is for writers and people who are creating things. Uh, we'll do the sports broadcast some other time. I'm probably going to have you on, as a matter of fact, because I want to talk to you because your Raiders are trash. So, but today's not the sports broadcast day. Today we're talking to writers. I'm talking to everybody who wants to become a writer. I'm talking to anybody who is a writer, and we're going to talk about the truth about the publishing industry today. This just happened in 2022. It's carried over into 2023, and you guys need to know the truth. Like, people aren't giving writers the truth nowadays. So I want to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. So I'm just putting this up on the screen. If you cannot hear me, let me know. I'm going to comment in TikTok because I'm live. I'm live in a couple of places. So if you see me looking down or looking around, I'm not ignoring you. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me okay. So today we're going to talk about the truth about the publishing industry and what it takes for an author to be considered successful. There are a lot of things that authors go through during the writing process, and one of them is making sure that their efforts aren't going to go unrewarded, because it's a considerable effort to write and publish a book. It takes a minute. Like, it takes some money, it takes some effort, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of repetitiveness, it takes a lot of resilience to be able to write a book and publish a book. And so we want to talk about what makes authors successful, and we want to talk about the truth about the other side of publishing, because everybody knows about self-publishing. Like, you're gonna invest a lot up front, and we'll get into the exact steps here in a second. But you have to invest a lot up front. You have to do various things to be successful as a self-published author. But what about traditional? And so we want to talk about that right away here. Traditional publishing and how to be successful as a published author, and what it actually looks like on the other side when you are a published author. So let's first talk about what is author success in 2023. What does it mean to be considered a successful author in 2023? Now, this is regardless of whether you publish as a self-published author or as a traditionally published author. We're talking about success in general here, okay? So as an author, this is your main goal. You want to sell a lot of copies of books. You want to get a lot of positive reviews. And mainly we work with indie authors. So as an indie author, this is what success means. And for a published author, considering the statistics that I just pulled, this would be considered a success as well. So whether you want to sell 1,000 copies of a book. 1,000 copies of a book is considered a success. We're not talking bestseller, we're talking success. Okay? So 1,000 copies of a book sold is considered a successful campaign for an author. Okay? Now, what does that mean money-wise? At $4.99 with a 70% royalty rate, which is the Amazon KDP standard for books over $2.99. I'm sorry, over $1.99. you'll make around $1,500 on that book if you sell 1,000. Okay. Now you're going to make more if you're enrolled in something like Kindle Unlimited, but I just want to give you a baseline for what we're calling success for the sake of this presentation. Okay. So you sell 1,000 copies at $4.99, you'll make about 1,500. That is considered a successful campaign for one book as an indie author or as we'll just say as an author, period. Okay. Now, in 2022, there was a lawsuit of the big five publishers. There was a lawsuit to keep those publishers from becoming a monopoly because they have all the resources, they have the best selling statistics, they have all those things. Everybody's seeking to be a part of those big five or a part of that big five. And it was really hindering the success of those who weren't, not just people who self-publish, but traditional publishers that are smaller than the big five. So there was this big lawsuit. Okay. They went through a lawsuit to prevent them from monopolizing the industry. Okay. During this trial, there were some statistics released about what the success rate is in the publishing industry with the big five. Okay. Now, these are the kings of the publishing industry. All right. So we're talking about their success rate here. Okay. Now, before I release these statistics, because we're going to do it here live, okay? Before I release these statistics, I want to prepare you for this. This is not to depress you and make you give up trying to be an author, okay? This is not to depress you. What we're trying to do here is we're giving you the truth, because with the truth, you'll be able to make a better decision, a more informed decision, and that's the point. Okay, we don't want you to go into this puppy blind. All right. We want you to get the real facts so that as you go through your writing journey, you will be able to understand what to expect and what's coming and what's going to happen. Okay. That is the point of these statistics. All right. So just hang with me. Don't quit and leave and think you can't do it. Just hang with me because this is going to get depressing and then it's going to get really good. I just want to prepare you guys for this. Okay. We're here to deliver the truth. All right. So, from that lawsuit, these are some of the statistics that were released. Of the 58,000 titles published, 50% sold less than a dozen books. Now, this is from the big five. 50% of the 58,000 titles sold less than a dozen books. 90% of those titles sold fewer than 2,000 copies. Okay? And advances of a few $1,000s, and by advance we mean the author was given a few $1,000s because the publisher felt like they could sell the book a certain amount. So of those advances, most of them never earned out. So when the advances got up into the couple thousands, they were never earned out. And by earned out, I mean the book never sold more than what the advance would have rewarded. So I do want to talk about advances here really quick. Okay, actually, let's go back. What is a lot of people have a misunderstanding of what it means when an author gets an advance. Okay, what it is not is they are not giving you a few $1,000s. Let's just say $1,000. Okay, they're not giving you $1,000 to publish your book and then you get to keep the royalties. That's not what happens. Okay, they give you that advance and then you have to earn out that advance before you get another dime from your book. So what does that mean? It means if they give you $1,000, your book has to sell more than that $1,000 before you will see one more dollar from the book. So what does this mean, this slide right here? Okay, what does it mean? It means, oops. Hold on, man. I got to get you out of here because or put you on mute. Are you good with that? I got to put you on mute. So what does it mean when you're never earned out? That means that The $1,000 that you get is all you get from your book when you write and publish a book. That $1,000 from that publisher, that's all you're going to get because it never sells more than that $1,000. Now, I want you to let that sink in here for a second. Bring everybody back on the screen here. I want you guys to let that sink in for a second. That means that those people who, let's say, the best thing happens and you make it to one of these big five, that does not mean you're going to be a successful author. In fact, a lot of these authors, when they get those advances, that's all they get from their book. That's it. So you really got to think about that when you're looking for a literary agent, when you're looking for a publisher. The big $5,000 advances don't make you successful necessarily, okay? So putting all of your chips into that does not mean you're going to make it as an author, right? Okay, so here are some literary agent statistics. These are authors that actually got a literary agent, which for the big five, you pretty much need that before you're even going to publish. So typically, an agent will get you an advance of $5,000 to $10,000. Okay, and the agent's going to take 15% of that on average. Now, this is something that I pretty much just explained. But in order to make more money with your book, you have to sell out that total with more with copies. Like you have to sell that out before you'll see another dime. I did kind of explain that, but just for you guys that are on TikTok and not necessarily on the presentation, I just wanted to make sure that you understood what we were going over. Okay, now this is important right here. Your royalty rate for a traditional publisher, not a hybrid publisher, two completely different things. Your royalty rate for a traditional publisher is 10% on the high end. On the high end, 10%. Okay? And again, as I said before, so for most authors that are in a traditional with a traditional publisher, that advance is all they're going to get, because we just talked about the statistics of how many of those books actually sell more than the advance that they received. So that's all they get, guys. So let's say it takes you a couple of years to write and publish that book. If you get a $5,000 advance, like you're not a millionaire. This is five. Let's just say you get a 10K advance. That's all you get from that book. This is not a movie deal. This is not podcasts and interviews and being on the news and anything. Just 10 grand. That's it. And you're not even keeping all of that unless you sell more than that 10 grand would have netted you at a 10% royalty rate. Think about that. Think about that, really. So you're putting a whole lot of work in, especially if you're not good at marketing. And we are going to talk about that here today. If you're not good at marketing and you get that $10,000 advance, like, I hope you got some extra money saved up because that's all you're going to get. Okay? All right. So for those of you who stuck around and you're still here, good. You've made it through the worst part of this broadcast. I wanted to give you the truth of exactly what it means to be an author. Okay? You cannot just depend on the publisher to do everything for you, even if you're a part of the big five. 58,000 books were released in the big five up to 2022. Of that, half of them didn't even sell a dozen copies. So you cannot depend on the publisher to do it all for you. Okay? The publisher's not going to do it all for you. You have to learn the ropes and take action and take control of your publishing. All right? How do you do that? Well, we're going to talk about that here in a second. We're not going to leave you high and dry here, okay? Okay. So I want to discuss self-publishing versus traditional publishing. What does that mean exactly? So self-publishing, I'm just going to let it give all the options there because we've got two different columns to talk about here. So what is a self-published author? A self-published author is an author that has published under their own name or their own imprint, and they don't have an agent or a traditional publisher that is backing them. Okay. And by traditional, I mean a publisher that takes on the publishing steps and your book is represented by that publisher. So anytime you make a sale, it counts for that publisher. They pay you out in royalties, and the royalties are paid once a season or twice a year. You might get a 6 month, a big royalty check for 6 months after you earn out the advance that they give you, if they gave you one, or maybe once a season, every 3 months or so. You don't get it every week or every month. Amazon pays you every month when you're a self-published author. Excuse me. All right. So with self-publishing, you have a lot more control over pricing, the look, the quality, the message, because you don't have to feed into the message that the publisher is trying to push out to the public. What does that mean? Let's say the publisher publishes romance, but they feature romance with, vampire, or a romance with a strong female character. They might ask you to change your book a little bit so it can fit the message that they have with their audience. When you're a self-published author, you don't have to worry about that, because how you want it to come out is how it's going to come out. It's up to you, not the publisher. Okay? You can get your books out a lot faster when you're self-published versus when you publish with a publisher, a traditional publisher. Traditional publishers, it might take a couple of years from the time that you're signed before your book comes out. Couple of years, not a year, a couple of them, because they've got so many other authors in the queue. So it'll take a lot longer to publish. Okay, it's going to take a lot more time to publish. Versus when you self-publish, if you need to make changes, like if you traditionally publish and let's say you need to make a change to the cover or something in the book, be prepared to wait for it. Because a traditional publisher has a lot of different authors that they're trying to get stuff done for. Versus if you self-publish, you can make that change that fast, upload it, and then it's done. I mean, after the Amazon review, which takes anywhere from an hour to maybe 24, 48 hours, it's up and good. Right? Okay. You get a higher royalty rate when you self-publish. Now, we're talking about Amazon here. Okay, that's primarily who we work with, is Amazon. Or we work with self-published authors. Amazon's really the powerhouse. Let me backtrack that a little bit. Amazon is the powerhouse. It's easier to publish on Amazon. It's a lot more controlled. It's faster. I mean, there's other ones like Ingram Spark, BookBaby does it. I don't know if Smashwords is still around. Maybe somebody can tell me if Smashwords is still around. I haven't used them in a long time. But there's a couple of other places that you can publish. Barnes & Noble. You can self-publish online in a lot of places. Amazon really has taken over the industry when it comes to the self-publishing market. So everything that we're talking about here on the self-published end, it's primarily from Amazon. Their royalty rating is a lot higher than any traditional publisher that you're going to find. If you look on the screen here, Amazon offers 30 to 70%. The lower that you go, like under $2.99, I believe it is. It's either I think it might be $1.99 actually. Once you go under $1.99, you're only going to get 30%. I think it's $2.99. It's either $1.99 or $2.99. I can't remember off the top of my head. But once you go under that, you're only going to get 30%. After that, the higher up you go, you get 70%. Okay? So if your book is 99 cents, let's just round it up to $1, you're going to get 30 cents per sale. That's how that works out. Okay? Versus a traditional publisher, the royalty rate is 8% to 15%. Period. Whether it's an ebook, whether it's a paperback, does not matter. That's the percentage that you're going to get. 8 to 15%. And if you remember what I just said, you're not going to get paid fast. You're not going to get paid fast. So really think about that when it comes to what kind of publishing you're going to do. Are you going to self-publish? Are you going to traditionally publish? Really think about that, because we want you to have all of the data. Before you move forward into the publishing steps. Now, the traditional publisher will give you an advance. If you get it to one of the big publishers, they will give you an advance. However, if you don't earn out that advance with sales, that's all you're going to get, as I explained before. Whereas with self-publishing, you're not going to get any advances, but you're going to get paid a lot more often. And if you can understand marketing and promotion and identify your target audience and give them what they want, you're going to make a lot more money. You're going to make a lot more money a lot more often than if you go with a traditional publisher, if you self-publish. Okay? Now, there are some rules with that. You can't just throw a book up on Amazon and expect to make money. We're going to talk about a couple of those steps here in this presentation, okay? All right. Also, let me know if you guys can hear me. Put it in the chat box. Put it in the chat box if you can hear me. I want to make sure. All right. Okay, looks like everybody can hear. All right. Now, one of the cons about self-publishing is you're going to have to invest in everything up front. However, you're going to make more on the back end. So if you put in the work and you put in the effort up front, the reward is a lot greater on the back end. You have a lot more control. You're going to make a lot more money, but you got to do a little bit more work. Okay? Versus a traditional publisher, they're going to make more money on your book than you will. 8 to 15% is what you get paid from the work that you've done. 8 to 15%, period. Whether it's high, whether the price is higher or lower, that's less than half of what you're going to get as a self-published author. Something to think about, okay? And the reason is because traditional publishers have to pay a lot of people. So, the list is, the agent takes a cut, the marketing people take a cut. If you got a designer from the publisher, it takes a cut. The proofreader from the publisher takes a cut. The owner of the publishing company takes a cut. Like, all these people are in line to get paid before you as the author. Okay? So really think about that, guys, when it comes to publishing your book. Really think about that. All right? You're doing all this work just to pay everybody else. Okay? All right. If there are any questions on that, please type them in the box. I will see if I can answer all of your questions here in today's presentation. Okay. So now that we've got through the depressing stuff, how do you achieve success as an author, as an indie author in 2023? And really, this goes for any author, but it's going to be a lot harder for those of you that have a publisher and all these hands in the pocket to try and get your money. Right? So we try to work with indie authors because that gives you a little more control. It gives you a lot more leeway, gives you a lot more control. When you make mistakes, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to. And sometimes it doesn't matter how many editors take a look at your book. There's always a typo that gets through there, right? And when you're self-published, you can fix the typo, re-upload, and then it's done. When you're traditionally published, it's going to take a couple of years, and then you're just like, never mind. I don't want to I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to wait 6 years for this. So, how do you achieve success as an indie author in 2023? First off, we recommend that you self-publish. Now, you need to know what to expect in order to self-publish with success. Okay? How to get more reviews, how to get more sales. You need to know exactly what's going to be expected of you up front because you're going to be the one doing most of the investment up front. Okay? So expect to invest $2,000 to $5,000 per book. Now, for your first book, it's probably going to be on the upper side of that scale because you've never done it before, right? It's like walking for the first time. Like, as a baby, you grow legs to walk, but when you first try to walk, even though that's the purpose of the legs is to transport you from one place to another, you're going to fall over because you have to develop the muscles to hold yourself steady, to stabilize, to transfer the weight from one foot to the other. You have to develop those muscles, and you don't develop them unless you walk, right? Same thing with writing. you're going to have to invest more because, especially if it's your first book, you don't know how to write a story. First of all, you don't know how to deliver a message. You don't know how to create real or realistic characters. You don't know how to do that stuff. So you got to hire a mentor. You got to hire a couple of editors. You got to hire a formatter. You got to hire a cover designer. You got to hire the people to help you on your journey, just like everything else, right? Like you need people in this journey. You cannot do it by yourself. Anybody who says they edit by themselves and they've always edited by themselves, I'm telling you, they have some bad books out there that got horrible reviews. Take it from somebody who's actually I got picked up by a publisher, and my first book had some horrible reviews because I didn't know how to do it. Okay? So don't give yourself some grace when it comes to writing your book and understand what it's going to take in order to become an expert storyteller, in order to write a book that readers want to buy. You have to learn those skills. Okay? So for your first couple of books, it's going to be on the higher end of that scale. And as you get those skills, it's going to be less and less and less because you're going to need a lot less people because you have the know-how now. This is an investment in the future. Okay? You're not going to learn everything with your first book. Don't expect to. Don't try to. There are outliers out there. I understand those are just that, outliers. Okay? Learn how to market. This is something that every author needs to learn how to do. If you're a musician, you need to learn how to do this. If you are an actor, you need to learn how to do this. If you're somebody who has a passion that you want to make money from, you need to learn how to do this. There's no getting around it. You have to learn how to market. And we'll talk about a couple of things here. All right. And you also have to check out what your competition is doing. So for the sake of this, the authors that are doing well, the authors who are doing well, rather, and do what they are doing, but better. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. Okay? There's a process for publishing a high quality book. After that, it's on you to market and promote. Okay? So check out what your competition is doing. You're actually going to get a leg up because a lot of authors give away their secrets. They give them away. Everybody can be successful, okay? Just because somebody likes one author doesn't mean they can't like you too. Same with music, same with acting. Like, do you just have one actor that you like? No, there's probably a couple. Right? There's enough. There's enough money out here. If people are telling you there's no money in writing, they're lying. There is a lot of money in writing. A lot. Millions, billions of dollars in this industry. But you're not going to make it if you don't put the right investments where you need to in order to be successful. And learning how to market and promote is one of those things. All right? Check out what your competition is doing and do it better. The things that you can within your budget. Okay? Don't just throw up a book and spam Twitter and spam your Facebook groups and spam your Instagram and spam all these people with buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. That's not going to get it done. It's not going to get done. Okay? Now, again, most successful indie authors make more than $1,000 on their books. Okay, remember, success equals 1,000 copies sold. And if you've been here since the beginning, you know that even in the big five, a lot of those authors don't even sell a dozen books. 50%. Oops, went backwards. I didn't mean to. Sorry. All right. So since we mainly deal with Amazon here, we're going to explain how the Amazon ranking system worked in 2022. Okay. Just to give you an idea of what it's going to be like moving forward. All right. Before I move on, guys, if you're in TikTok, get the likes up, please. It really helps share the message. Just give me a double tap on the screen. That's all you got to do. You don't got to sign up for anything. You don't got to follow me if you don't want to. Just double tap the screen. Give me a couple of likes so that the algorithm shares this video because I think it's really important. For those of you in Facebook, go YouTube, give me the likes. It helps me with getting this message out to more authors so that I can help more authors publish with success. Thank you, Paranoid Panda. Paranoid Panda, I think that's it. Thank you. Get the likes up, guys. I appreciate it. Okay, so here's how the Amazon system worked in 2022. All right. Now, what is the Amazon system? If you click on a book, you look up in Kindle, you click on a book, scroll down, and you'll see a bestseller ranking. Okay, you'll see a thing that says bestseller ranking. That is your ranking system. The lower the number, the higher you are in the ranking system. It's kind of like golf, right? So if you're ranked 100,000, you're in your category or overall, that number is the position that you are in comparison to either the same category or the overall books on Amazon. Okay. We'll talk about those numbers a little bit more in detail. But if you're at a $100,000 ranking, I'm sorry, $100,000 position, you're selling about one book a day. Not a very successful campaign. So for people who are at 100,000 or higher, meaning 100,001, 100,002, 100,003, you're making about one sale per day. 10,000 or higher, you're making about 10 sales per day. It's okay. All right? It's okay. 1,000 or higher, you're making about 100 sales per day, which is great. 100 sales per day is really good. In 10 days, you'll be successful. That's a great ranking to be at. And then you get to the 100 or higher, you're making 1,000 sales per day. That is a bestseller. That is bestseller potential. Well, these are the categories that we've created for the sake of this presentation and to gauge the success of our clients here at iFlow, okay? 100,000, not really successful, one sale a day. If your ranking is 10,000, you're making about 10 sales per day, that's all right. If your ranking is 1,000, you're making about 100 sales per day, that's great. If you are at 100 or more, you're making 10 or 1,000 sales per day. That's a bestseller per Amazon standards, okay? Just a little note, per USA Today, to make their bestseller list, you have to sell 5,000 copies in a week. Just to give you a gauge on that. All right? Now, there is an asterisk here. If you are an Amazon KDP author, you can sign up for Kindle Unlimited. All right. Now, again, most successful authors make $1,000 on their books with Amazon. For Kindle Unlimited, this is a really, really great way to make money because you're paid on pages read versus sales. Because people who subscribe to Kindle Unlimited, they pay one monthly price, and then they're able to access the entire Kindle library without paying for it. They're able to just download the entire Kindle library. And so you get paid as the author when people read the pages of your books, not just when they buy. It's a great way for you to make extra money as an author. So I really recommend that you do that. Sign up for Kindle Unlimited. Guys, you don't want to try and do too much here. So if your book is all over the place, I know that people say, hey, you want your book to be available everywhere. People use Kindle, Apple iBooks, and Barnes & Noble. That's really it, besides maybe Wattpad. Wattpad? Sorry. That's it. So really think about what platform you want to use and stick to it. And just get really good at it. That's where you're going to make the most money, okay? So don't just spread it out everywhere and hope to get a little bit from everywhere. Really see where your book is successful when it comes to publishing. And there's a reason why Amazon has dominated the self-published market here, okay? All right. So here are some important statistics from Amazon, okay? Again, this is not to depress you. This is to give you the truth, the facts. This is 2022 facts, okay? Out of the 4,572,492 books on Amazon, so 4.5 million books on Amazon, 10,000 of them are doing okay. 10 sales a day. 10,000. To give you a percentage, that is 0.0021% of the published indie books sell 1,000 books. That's less than 1%, less than 0.5%, Less than 0.1% of published books on Amazon sell 1,000 copies. Most are unsuccessful. 99.998 are unsuccessful. Why? Why do you think that is? Because a lot of self-published authors don't go through the publishing steps necessary to produce quality books that readers want to read. It's not because the Amazon KDP system sucks and it doesn't pay. It pays more than traditional publishers. It pays more than the big five. By a lot. By a lot. It pays a lot more than the big five will pay you. But the reason why 99.998% of published titles out there sell less than 1,000 books is because authors are not taking the proper steps in order to be successful. Okay? Again, this is not to discourage you. This is the truth of the matter. We want you to have the truth. Now, there's more than just one book that authors publish. So on average, we say authors publish 4 books in fiction. So you got a series, okay? So with an average number of books per author at 4, that means that means 0.00625% of authors are actually successful. They sell more than 1,000 copies. 0.00625%. That is 6/1000ths of a percent. Okay? Now, I know the knee-jerk reaction is to say, my statistical success rating is really, really low. My failure rate is 99.994%. But I want to actually give you a little bit of encouragement about what this means. Okay? A lot of readers expect to be let down on Amazon. They don't expect it to be something that they would find on the shelf. Most of them. That's why most authors fail. Because the authors are not giving the readers what they want. They're not positioning themselves for success on Amazon and giving readers what they want. Okay? Now, what does this mean for you as an author? Is this worth it? Is it worth it to be an indie author? Well, overwhelmingly, the answer to that is yes. Okay? Because the reason that authors aren't successful has nothing to do with them being an author. It has to do with them investing in their work to make their writing career successful. All right, so I want to give you a few things. We've talked about the depressing stuff and the stats of right now what the success rate is for people who publish a book on Amazon. Okay, some of them aren't even worthy enough to be called authors, honestly, but they've published a book, so it counts. So I want to give you some ways to be successful here in 2023. If you are an author, if you are a writer, these are some things that you need to know, okay? The good news is that according to author earnings, less than 45% of earnings, of all author earnings, that means anybody who's published a book, less than 45% of earnings go to traditionally published authors. So self-publishing has a massive earning potential. 55% of the earnings go to self-published authors. That's what that's saying. Okay? So your competition is high in terms of numbers, but low in terms of quality. You produce a quality book, you invest the $2,000 to $5,000 in the right services, people who know what they're doing to help you publish a quality book, you're going to rise to the top much faster. Okay? All you have to do, basically, you have to produce a high quality book that readers want to read, and then find your target audience and give those readers your book. That's it. That's it. What is a target audience? A target audience is an audience of people who want what you have to offer and are likely to buy. That little piece right there. and are likely to buy is so important because you might find a bunch of readers. If they're broke, it's not going to help you. They're not going to buy what you have to offer. Okay? Target audience includes things like age, location, race, socioeconomic status, what phone they own, where they read books. Do they read paperback or Kindle? Do they watch podcasts? How they work, what their jobs are. All of these demographics feed into what is called your target audience. The more demographics you know about, or the more things you know about your target audience, the better for you because you're going to be able to narrow down the focus to people based on demographics who want what you have to offer and are likely to buy. That's why it's so important to find your target audience. Now, when you're just starting, that's going to take some time. Just because you categorize with keywords and categories on Amazon does not mean you have found your target audience. The best target audience that you can have is 1,000 people who are willing to buy what you have to offer right now in a reading list or a text message list that you can talk to anytime you want to. That is the best target audience resource. 1,000 people that you have their numbers and you can reach out to them anytime you want. You can do that. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take resilience, repetitiveness, passion, and money. It's going to take money. You have to invest in this. So get out of the I can publish for free mentality. No, you can't. Not even with a traditional publisher. No, you cannot publish successfully for free. You need people. You need a mentor. You need editors. You need a formatter. You need a cover designer. You need a proofreader. You need beta readers. You need a list of readers. You need a platform. You need somebody in this process. Get out of the I can do this for free mentality. You can't. Not successfully. I just gave you the statistics. Most of those authors try to do it for free. You cannot do it. We need people. We need each other. Okay? Rant over. All right. So I'm going to give you some steps for success to get a high quality book written and published so that you can start making some money and opening up some opportunities. I'm going to talk about opportunities here in a second. Steps for success, okay? What you want to do is write a book of high quality and readability. You need multiple editors for that. Multiple. Not one. That's what multiple means. More than one. You need a different editor for each step in the process. Okay? So you need a developmental editor. What is a developmental editor? A developmental editor helps you develop the story, the characters, the setting, the conflict, everything that goes into the book. Yes, it's going to be expensive because it is very, very, very meticulous. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort, rereading, making sure it's fine, putting the book away for a little bit, coming back to it. It takes time. Okay. Now let's say you have an idea for a book or a series or something like that. I have clients that have that on the list, but that writing it really isn't your strong suit. You need a ghostwriter. Do not try and do it by yourself. If you know that writing is not your strong suit, do not do it by yourself. Hire a ghostwriter. Again, yes, it's going to cost money. Yes, it is. Okay, do not try and do this by yourself. Hire a ghostwriter. Hire multiple editors for a reason. Because a developmental editor will give you that. A line editor will give you a different set of eyes. What is a line editor? A line editor deals with word choice, sentence fluency. It's called syntax. Okay? Now, our line editors also do dialogue, but that's not a given. Okay? Word choice, sentence fluency, the communication of the story to the reader is what a line editor does. how it's received by the reader. The line editor makes sure that it is a pleasurable read, that the message that you want to deliver is going through, that people understand what certain scenes mean. That's a line editor's job. Okay. Then you have a copy editor. What does a copy editor do? This is what people think that most editors do: grammar, punctuation, spelling. That's what most people think that editors are there for. That is, I just gave you three different editors that are going to handle three different things with the book. The copy edit, what most people think an editor does, is one of the final steps before publishing. Just because you have your punctuation, grammar, and your spelling right does not mean the book is ready to be published. Just means you have a great copy editor. Ultimately, your readers have to want to read what you have written. That's the point. That's where these other two editors come into play. And ideally, you want it to be three different people, not one person doing three different things. Do not try to cut corners with this. Guys, it's going to kill you. It's going to kill you either with reviews on the back end, which is absolutely what you don't want, or you're going to have to pay a lot more money because when you do finally get an editor, they now have to clean up and you have to rework and do all this stuff. Take down what you've already published. Do not try and cut corners with this. Okay, get multiple editors, different people. All right? Learn how to format or do a cover or invest in a cover designer and a formatter. Guys, this is important. Don't cut the corner. This is important. Why? Because your readers, before they even look at buying a book, they're going to hit the look inside feature on Amazon. And if the format is shit, they're not going to pick it up. They're not even going to read it. Don't cut corners. Hire people who know what they're doing, or buy programs and learn how to do it yourself. Now, with a cover designer, I recommend you just hire somebody. Unless you're really good at design, just hire somebody and stop the madness. Just hire somebody. I hire people, and I run a writing company. I hire people to do the covers. Why? Because I'm not good at design, and I know I'm not good at design. Okay? One of the things you have to understand is that you have a certain skill set, and other people have a certain skill set. When you guys combine your powers, it's like, you remember Captain Planet back in the day? He didn't come out by himself. The 5 Planeteers had to put their rings together, and then he came out. It became a much more powerful ally when you work together. Same thing with writing and the arts, really, in general. Okay, I do music as well. I can't do it by myself. I'm a singer. I can't produce everything by myself. I can't mix and master by myself. I hire people to do it. Okay? So there's 2 ways to do it. You can hire somebody or spend the thousands of hours necessary. It takes a long time to understand design and formatting and buy the programs. It's cheaper than hiring somebody, but you're going to pay in time. And don't just hey, I want to get this out there. That's one of the worst things that I ever hear from authors is, I just want to get it out there. I want to slap them in the face every time they say that, because you're setting yourself up to fail. You want to get your failure out there is what you're telling me. Not, hey, I want to know how to learn how to do this. So I understand this first book's going to take a lot longer than I want it to, but I need to learn what I need to learn in order to be successful. The thought isn't on success. It's just on the quick turnaround. And this is not a quick turnaround type of industry. It's not. It's not. It takes 2 years with the big 5. Not a quick turnaround. Okay? So I just want to get it out there. Just get that out of your head. I will slap you if you say that to me face to face. Don't do that. You're setting yourself up to fail. All right? Now, this next one is important here. Get a website that showcases you as an author, a person, and your work with high quality and offers readers a chance to be a part of your exclusive audience. Remember what I said about the best target audience? I'm going to read that again for a couple of reasons. Just so that you know it's important. Number two, for those of you on TikTok who can't see the presentation, okay? Get a website that showcases you as an author, a person, and your work with high quality and offers readers a chance to be a part of your exclusive audience. That is critical to your success as an author. Okay. Why do you think that every company website that you visit, and I mean all of them, all the good ones, every single one of them within the first 10 seconds of you being on the website, they offer you something in exchange for your email address? Why do you think that is? Every company, they all do that. Why do you think that is? Because they know that is if you give them email, you are likely to become a customer. You are telling them, I want to hear what you have to offer, and I know it's going to cost money. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. It is so important for you to have a website that offers your readers a chance to become a part of your exclusive audience. This is your target audience, literally. The person is telling you, I am willing to become a part of your writing journey, and I want more of what you have to offer. I don't know how else to tell you that's really, really important. Okay? Your website is one of the most critical things that you need as an author, as an artist, as an anything. You need a way to showcase your work. You need a way to showcase your personality because people trust people more than they trust businesses. If all you are is business, you're not going to get trust unless your products are very high quality. And even still, like I use all Apple everything. I love Apple. It's one of my favorite companies. I know it's going to be expensive. There are some people who can't stand Apple. Pardon me. All this talking, my mouth is dry. There are some people who can't stand Apple. That doesn't mean they're not going to buy. They'll stay on the Apple website. And when they're ready to switch over, they'll switch over. Same thing for Android. Like, there's a reason why these companies do this because they know the importance of it. So why would you not do that yourself? All the big authors that you hear about, all of them have websites. Every single one. My favorite author is dead. He still has a website. That's how important it is, okay? You understand? All right. And now you have to learn what marketing is, what promotion is, and how to use the best tactics for your writing career. Learn what marketing is, learn what promotion is, and learn how to use the best tactics for your writing career. I cannot express in words how important this is. You can have a website, a book out, the best cover, the best editors. If nobody knows about it, you are going to make $0. Just because you publish does not mean people know about it now. You have to spearhead the marketing efforts yourself. Even if you have a publisher, you have to spearhead the marketing efforts yourself. You got to do it. You have to do it. And by the way, if you hire a marketing agency that's really, really good at it, that's still you doing it because they wouldn't do it for you without you paying them. So that still counts. Same as a ghostwriter. Like if you can't write or if you don't know how to write well enough and you hire a ghostwriter, it still counts as you writing it because that person wouldn't be writing your ideas if it wasn't for you. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. Learn what marketing is, learn what promotion is, and how to use the best tactics for your writing career. Okay. So let's talk about marketing and promotion. really quick. I'm going to look up marketing for you and tell you what it means. Okay, marketing, according to Oxford, the activity or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. Including market research and advertising. That is the noun. The activity or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. The verb, I market my book, action word, verb, means advertise or promote something. Promotion, defined, according to Oxford, the activity that supports or provides an active encouragement for the furtherance of a cause, venture, or aim. Number 2, the publicization of a product, organization, or venture so as to increase sales or public awareness. That's what promote means, according to Oxford. I'll read that again. The publicization of a product, organization, or venture so as to increase sales or public awareness. Making your product known. That's what promotion means. The better you promote, the more sales you're going to have, the more support you're going to have, the more public awareness you're going to have. Promote does not mean buy my book on Amazon. Promote means I have a book on Amazon. Who reads? And you get people who read. And then you talk about why they should care about your book. There is a big difference here. One is spam, one is promotion. Okay? Now, the question that you have to answer, I'm just going to give you this little bit because it's been over an hour, so I don't want this to go for too much longer. The question that you have to answer when it comes to your promotion efforts is, why should I care? From the reader's perspective, why should I care? If you cannot answer that question, you are not going to make any money. $0. Why should I care? This goes for any art, really. Why should I care about your drawing? Because it will really help the decor of your house. It'll help you feel more homey. And it's fantastic. So when people come and visit, they're going to know you have a great taste in art and aesthetics based on what you have in your house. That answers the question why I should care. Why should I care about your book? It talks about the principles of life and where we're headed. I don't think we're going in the right direction. This book will address those things and where we're headed if we're not careful. Oh, damn. I should probably read this. All you got to do for your target audience, but you need to know what they care about before they're going to care. This is why it takes time to develop that target audience, you guys, because you have to learn about the people that you're promoting to before you're going to make any money promoting. I'm going to say that again. You have to learn about the people that you're promoting to before you're going to make any money with that promotion. Got to know the people that you're talking to. And this is where communication and we need each other is so important. So important. Because if you're not willing to, hey, I got an author, but what about you? What do you like? What are you into? What is there a way I can support you? If you're not at that level when it comes to promotion and marketing, what are we doing? Like, you got to understand people have lives. They have things that they're worried about. And if your book aligns with their life, you're going to make a lot more success. You're going to have a lot more success than if you're trying to impinge on their life, meaning going against what they already have happening. Right? Okay. So we're at over an hour, and I actually talked for longer than I wanted to. But before I let you guys go, are there any questions? Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, any questions that I can answer before I let you go? Whether you're an artist, a singer, an author, how to be successful, how to make money, anything you want to know, how can you promote, what website company should you use, any questions. I am, the doors of the church are open. All right. Facebook, YouTube, I'm going to let you go. TikTok, I see there's some questions here, so I'm going to stay here and answer your questions. Facebook, YouTube, thank you for joining me. I'm going to post up clips of this video so that you guys can see the more important parts. And feel free to share, give me a friend request on Facebook. I don't mind. I will talk to any and everybody.